Marriage. We often think of it as a sacred union, a bond between two people destined to share their lives. But what if I told you that the reality of marriage might be far deeper than the conventional ideas we have of love, happiness, and companionship? What if marriage is not just about finding someone to complete you, but a powerful karmic journey, one that pulls us into the depths of our unresolved issues, challenges our attachments, and pushes us toward a higher state of spiritual awakening? We enter marriage hoping for joy, seeking connection, but many of us end up asking, why this person? Why now? The truth is, the answer may not lie in love alone. What if marriage is less about romantic ideals and more about confronting the lessons we need to learn from our past? What if our partner isn't just the one we love, but the one we are karmically bound to meet, to face our past actions and to heal the wounds we've been carrying for lifetimes? In this video, we'll unravel the connection between marriage and karma through the timeless wisdom of Buddhist teachings and Zen philosophy. We'll explore why we marry who we marry, how these unions carry the weight of karmic ties from previous lives, and how they serve as profound opportunities for growth, healing, and ultimately liberation. As we journey together through the mysteries of marriage, you'll come to understand that sometimes love isn't the root of the union. It may be a lesson, a debt, or a mirror that helps you transform. Marriage, when seen through this lens, becomes not just a relationship, but a path towards spiritual awakening and liberation. Are you ready to see marriage in a whole new light? Let's begin. The concept of karma, action, and its corresponding result, stands at the very heart of Buddhist philosophy. While many understand karma as simply what goes around comes around, its reach extends far beyond mere action in the present moment. It is a force that encompasses all of our past deeds, thoughts, and decisions. Karma governs everything in the universe, shaping not only the events of our lives, but also the relationships we form, especially the deeply transformative one we call marriage. According to Buddhist teachings, the people we are drawn to, especially in marriage, are not random. These are souls with whom we share unresolved karmic ties, souls who carry lessons we need to learn and debts we need to pay. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you felt an inexplicable pull towards someone, even when it didn't quite make sense? What if the person you marry isn't just a companion, but someone from your karmic past, sent to help you heal and resolve the unfinished business of your previous lives? In the Buddhist view, when we enter into a marriage, we often do so under the illusion that we are seeking love and happiness. But what if those are merely the byproducts of a deeper truth? What if love, in the context of marriage, is not the end goal, but the means by which we confront and work through our unresolved karma? Karma, in its essence, is not about comfort or bliss. It is about bringing us face to face with what we need to learn about ourselves, the things we've neglected, and the lessons we've avoided. Buddha taught, everything that has a beginning has a cause, and everything that arises depends on something else. This teaching applies not only to the universe at large, but also to the most intimate of human connections, like marriage. The people we marry are not coincidental. They are the result of choices made long before we were even aware of them, whether in past lives or even past actions in this life. These karmic bonds, whether conscious or unconscious, lead us to meet the partners we are meant to meet, often in unexpected ways, at unexpected times. To truly understand how karma influences our marriages, it's essential to delve deeper into the real-life experiences that illuminate the connection between karma and the relationships we form. These stories are not merely examples of romantic turmoil. They serve as powerful illustrations of the profound karmic lessons that arise in the intimate bonds we create. Through these narratives, we begin to see that what often feels like pain or confusion is in reality an opportunity, an invitation to awaken and transcend. Consider a story where a monk who is well-versed in the ways of karma observes a couple engaged in an argument. From the surface, it seems like an inconsequential disagreement over something trivial, perhaps a forgotten promise, a missed event, or an unfinished task. Yet, to the monk, this disagreement is more than just a sign of a relationship at odds. He understands that their connection is not accidental. The couple as mismatched as they may appear, has come together for a specific karmic purpose, one that neither of them fully understands, yet one that will shape their path forward. The couple's bickering is not merely an expression of frustration, it is a manifestation of unresolved karmic patterns that need to be addressed. For this couple, the pain and discomfort of conflict are not random. They are karmic signals showing them where they must confront their unresolved issues. As they argue, they are unknowingly being given the opportunity to face past wounds, old patterns, and unhealed parts of themselves that have remained hidden. The unresolved karma between them needs to be brought to the surface so that they may work through it. Later, a man enters the monk's chamber. His face heavy with the weight of his suffering, his eyes are tired and his posture slumps with the burden of emotional exhaustion. He asks the monk, "Why has karma bound me to this woman? I thought I loved her, but now I feel like a prisoner. Every day is a struggle. Why has this relationship become so painful?" The monk, with his calm and compassionate gaze, responds, "Karma does not bind you to comfort, it binds you to clarity." In this simple but powerful response, the monk unveils a profound truth about marriage and the deeper purposes behind it. The pain this man feels is not a random event. It is the result of a karmic agreement that was made long before he ever met his wife. The relationship is not about comfort or ease, it is about clarity. It is about meeting the person who will challenge him, to confront the unresolved aspects of himself, to face the inner work that has yet to be done. Marriage, the monk teaches, is not about finding someone who completes you in the way society or romantic ideals often portray. It is about meeting a soul who will trigger the unfinished work within you, bringing to the surface the issues you have carried through lifetimes. In this man's case, the suffering he feels is not a punishment from the universe, it is the path to healing. His wife is not his adversary, she is his mirror. She reflects the aspects of himself that he has yet to confront, the parts of him that require growth, understanding, and ultimately healing. Through this relationship, he is being given the opportunity to awaken to the deeper truths of his own soul, even if the journey is painful. This story offers a powerful lesson. The relationships we form are not always about love as we traditionally understand it. Sometimes they are karmic contracts, agreements made before this life to help us resolve unfinished business. The people we marry may not be the ones who bring us happiness in the conventional sense. Instead, they are often the ones who bring us the lessons we most need to learn. And while these lessons may be uncomfortable, even painful, they serve as the catalysts for our spiritual growth and evolution. Another story brings this concept into sharper focus. A woman, deeply confused by her emotional turmoil, finds herself inexplicably drawn to a man who makes her feel more pain than joy. Despite the warnings of her friends and her rational mind's objections, she marries him. In the beginning, she clings to the belief that love will somehow fix the relationship, but over time, she is betrayed, left in silence, and grows emotionally cold. Her heart feels shattered, and yet she cannot bring herself to leave him. The confusion and pain continue to mount, and she struggles to understand why she feels trapped. In desperation, she seeks solace in a temple. There, she meets a wise caretaker who listens intently to her story. After a moment of quiet reflection, the caretaker offers her this profound insight. What you call attraction was not love, it was recognition. You recognized the one who owed you a debt of pain, and the universe gave you front row seats to its repayment. The woman, stunned by these words, begins to see her situation in a new light. She understands that what she mistook for love was actually a karmic pull. The man she was drawn to was not the person who would fulfill her dreams or satisfy her desires. He was, in fact, the one who would help her confront the unresolved wounds of her past. Their relationship, though filled with heartache, was not a mistake. It was an opportunity, a karmic opportunity for healing and self-awareness. This insight changes her perspective. She recognizes that the pain she is experiencing is not the result of being with the wrong person, but the result of a deeper karmic debt that has yet to be resolved. The man she married, though he had caused her much pain, was actually the key to unlocking her own self-awareness. He had come into her life not to bring her joy, but to help her confront the parts of herself that were hidden, to help her heal wounds that she had carried for a long time. The lesson here is simple, yet profound. Sometimes, the people we are drawn to are not here to bring us happiness or fulfillment as we imagine it. Instead, they are often the ones who are meant to guide us through painful, yet necessary lessons. These painful relationships are often the vehicles for awakening, the means by which we resolve karmic debts that have been carried through multiple lifetimes. Through these relationships, we are given the chance to heal, grow, and evolve into a more enlightened version of ourselves. We may not always understand why we are drawn to certain people, but if we learn to see them through the lens of karma, we begin to recognize that these relationships are not coincidences. They are the result of past actions, unresolved issues, and lessons that need to be learned. The people we marry, then, are often not the ones who make us feel complete in the traditional sense, but the ones who provide us with the tools to complete ourselves. By recognizing this, we free ourselves from the illusion that love should always feel easy and effortless. Instead, we begin to understand that love, when viewed through the lens of karma, is a powerful force for transformation. It is through the challenges, the pain, and the conflicts in our relationships that we are given the opportunity to awaken to our truest selves. And in this awakening, we find the real purpose of marriage, not as an end goal, but as a path to deeper self-understanding and spiritual freedom. From the perspective of Buddhist and Zen teachings, marriage is not simply a path to companionship or fulfillment. It is, in essence, a path to spiritual awakening, a journey that calls us to look deeply within ourselves, confront our shadows, and transform our inner world. In many ways, marriage serves as a mirror, reflecting both the light and the darkness of who we are. It holds up to us a reflection of our fears, desires, insecurities, and unresolved issues, offering us a profound opportunity for growth. The Buddha taught that desire is the root of suffering, and this principle holds true in marriage. When we enter a marriage driven by unconscious desires or attachments, seeking to fulfill unmet needs or find completion, we amplify these desires until they become unavoidable. Our partner, rather than being the one we share love and companionship with, becomes the one who mirrors our deepest desires and the unresolved parts of ourselves that need healing. The relationship then shifts focus from genuine connection to the underlying forces driving us, forces that we may not even fully understand at first. Buddhism teaches that our attachments to these desires, whether it's the desire for love, security, or validation, are what cause suffering in our relationships. When we marry with the expectation that the other person will complete us, we unknowingly place an enormous weight on them. We expect them to fulfill needs that only we can truly meet within ourselves. The conflict, misunderstandings, and pain that arise in marriage often stem from these unacknowledged desires. It's not about love anymore. It's about an unconscious attempt to soothe inner emptiness or to patch up gaps in the self. This is why, in Buddhism, self-awareness and self-reflection are key to transforming a relationship into a space of healing and growth. Zen philosophy further deepens this understanding by emphasizing that true love does not seek comfort. Zen does not idealize relationships as a source of endless harmony or peaceful bliss. While society may portray love as this idyllic state of happiness and contentment, Zen challenges us to see that the true purpose of a spiritual partner is not to complete us in the traditional sense, but to help us confront our own shadows. These are the parts of ourselves that we may prefer to ignore: our fears, insecurities, selfishness, or unresolved wounds. True love, in the Zen tradition, does not enable us to remain comfortable. It forces us to grow, to confront the aspects of our being that we would rather leave hidden. Marriage, in Zen thought, becomes the ultimate practice of self-awareness. It is a spiritual discipline where we are given the opportunity to examine ourselves in the clearest light possible, through the actions, reactions, and behaviors of our partner. These relationships are not designed to be free of conflict or difficulty, because it is through conflict that we are given the opportunity to learn. Marriage challenges us to confront the aspects of ourselves that need healing, the parts of us that, when left unexamined, lead us to create suffering in our relationships. True love in Zen is not about seeking comfort or avoiding discomfort. Instead, it is about transformation, a transformation that often requires discomfort and friction. These uncomfortable moments in marriage, where we are challenged to grow beyond our old patterns or to confront painful truths, are the very spaces where spiritual awakening can occur. As much as we might resist discomfort in the moment, it is in these moments that we have the opportunity to shed our false selves and embrace a more enlightened version of who we are. Marriage, then, becomes the vehicle through which this transformation takes place. In Zen, the most profound relationships are those that serve as mirrors, reflecting back to us the parts of ourselves that need to be seen, understood, and healed. In a Zen marriage, love is not measured by how easy or smooth the relationship is, but by how much we are willing to change, grow, and awaken through it. A Zen partnership challenges us to transcend our attachments, not just to our partner, but to the expectations and desires that drive us. It calls us to transcend our own egos, those parts of us that seek comfort and security at the expense of personal growth. Through this process of transcendence, we begin to awaken to the truth of who we are and the interconnectedness of all things. This is not to say that Zen marriage is without love or compassion. On the contrary, it is in the depths of struggle, discomfort, and transformation that love is found in its most authentic form. It is in the moments when we are forced to confront our most difficult feelings and parts of ourselves that we are given the opportunity to experience the deepest kind of love, one that is rooted in acceptance, compassion, and awareness. Marriage, viewed from a Zen perspective, becomes a spiritual practice, a practice that calls us to face our illusions, attachments, and deepest fears, while simultaneously learning to love ourselves and our partner in the process. In this sense, marriage is a pathway to enlightenment, where both individuals are given the chance to experience profound growth, to become aware of their habitual patterns, and to transcend the ego. This process is not always pleasant. It often involves discomfort, frustration, and moments of pain. However, it is through this discomfort that we experience the deepest growth and spiritual awakening. In fact, it is in these challenging moments that we truly learn what love is. Not love as a fleeting emotion or as the fulfillment of desires, but as an ever-evolving force that helps us become the best version of ourselves. Love in Zen is not about keeping things easy. It is about finding wisdom and compassion through the trials we face, knowing that every challenge we confront in marriage is an opportunity to awaken to a deeper, truer version of ourselves. Thus, in both Buddhist and Zen teachings, marriage becomes far more than just a union between two people. It becomes a journey into self-awareness, a path that ultimately leads to liberation. Through the mirror of our partner, we confront all that is unresolved within us. We are challenged to grow, to shed our old patterns, and to discover our true selves. The path of love in marriage, according to Zen, is one of constant evolution, of learning to love not just the other person, but ourselves as well. As we look more deeply into the heart of marriage through these teachings, we begin to understand that the most profound love we can experience is not the love that comes from the absence of conflict, but the love that comes from facing and overcoming it. It is through these moments of friction, transformation, and awakening that we discover what true love really is. A love that is not about seeking comfort, but about seeking the truth and growing together toward enlightenment. In both Buddhist and Zen teachings, the importance of timing and spiritual readiness cannot be overstated when it comes to relationships, particularly marriage. Two people might appear to be a perfect match in every way, yet their relationship can still struggle or even fail if they are not both ready to meet each other on a deeper spiritual level. Take the story of a man who approaches a Zen master seeking guidance. "We love each other," he says, "but we fight every day. Should I leave?" The Zen master listens carefully and responds with insight. "Your souls met too early. She is still becoming the person who will understand you, and you are still shedding the person who cannot accept her." This story reveals a profound truth about marriage. Timing is everything. Two souls can meet in love, yet if one or both are not ready to evolve and grow in the same way, their union will be fraught with struggle. Karma, in this sense, does not only determine who enters your life, but when they do. It shapes the timing of our relationships. And sometimes we meet someone not because it is the right time, but because it is the right moment for growth, learning, or healing. In this particular case, the Zen master suggests that while the love between the man and woman is genuine, they are not yet spiritually ready to be fully present with each other. She is still evolving, still becoming the person who can truly understand him, and he is still in the process of shedding old patterns that prevent him from accepting her as she is. In a sense, their souls met before they were both fully prepared to embrace one another's evolution. Zen philosophy teaches us that true readiness comes from an openness to the lessons marriage brings. Both partners must be spiritually ready to confront their shadows, face their pasts, and grow together. This is why, sometimes, even the most loving relationships fail. Not because the love is lacking, but because one or both people are still clinging to old patterns, outdated beliefs, or unresolved wounds. In marriage, timing matters more than we often realize. If we enter into a relationship before we are spiritually ready, we might find ourselves in conflict with our partner, as we are not yet aligned in our growth. The best relationships are those in which both partners are willing to evolve together. It's not enough to simply meet the right person. Both individuals must be open and willing to learn from each other, to let go of old attachments, and to grow in alignment. The true goal of marriage from the Buddhist perspective is not about finding comfort or happiness in the way we usually expect. It is about finding liberation. Liberation from the attachments, illusions, and desires that keep us bound to the cycle of suffering and dissatisfaction. Zen teachings emphasize the impermanence of everything, including relationships. Nothing in this world, including our marriages, is permanent. However, what we gain through these relationships, wisdom, clarity, spiritual growth, is eternal. The real purpose of marriage is not about clinging to another person for comfort or stability. Instead, it's about using the relationship as a path for spiritual development. A Zen parable beautifully illustrates this concept. A candle married the wind. The wind asked, "Will you love me even when I blow you out?" The candle replied, "Yes, for only in darkness will I know the strength of my own flame." In this parable, the candle represents the self, and the wind represents the challenges, discomforts, and inevitable difficulties of life. True love, as depicted here, is not about avoiding pain or hardship, but embracing it. Through the darkness, we come to know the true strength of our inner light. When we enter into a marriage with this understanding, we no longer seek to possess or control our partner. Instead, we view our spouse as a companion on a journey of self-discovery, transformation, and spiritual liberation. This is where many of us may find a surprising revelation about marriage. It's not about building a perfect, conflict-free life with another person. It's about using the relationship as a mirror, an opportunity to confront and transcend our attachments. In this light, marriage becomes a tool, a sacred tool, to help us grow, awaken, and ultimately break free from the cycle of suffering that binds us. The essence of love in marriage, from a Buddhist and Zen perspective, is to be free from the illusions of possession and control. The more we are able to release our need for things to be a certain way, the more we allow space for our spiritual growth and the growth of our partner. True love, in this sense, is not about holding on, but letting go. With love, compassion, and a deep recognition of impermanence. As we reach the conclusion of this exploration into the karma of marriage, it's important to pause and reflect on the profound lessons that have emerged from our journey. These lessons are not always easy to accept, but they are crucial for our spiritual growth and awakening. When we look at marriage through the lens of karma, we begin to understand that its true purpose is far beyond what we initially thought. Marriage is not a destination. It is a means, a vehicle to help us awaken to deeper truths about ourselves and the world around us. The most important takeaway is that marriage is not the goal. Awakening is. In Buddhist teachings, the ultimate goal of life is not to find someone who fulfills all of our desires, but to become awakened to the truth of who we truly are. While marriage can be a powerful vehicle for this awakening, it will only serve that purpose if we approach it with awareness, mindfulness, and a willingness to let go of our attachments. Marriage, much like all aspects of life, is a mirror. It reflects back to us the parts of ourselves we need to confront, the parts that have been hidden, ignored, or suppressed. The tendency to view marriage as a destination, where we are meant to find comfort and everlasting happiness, is a misconception that can often lead to disappointment. In reality, marriage is a journey. It is a journey that challenges us in ways we may not anticipate. The relationship we form with our spouse can become the crucible for our spiritual growth, where we are confronted with our deepest fears, unresolved traumas, and unhealed wounds. These are the very areas that karma has directed us to work through, to heal, and to transcend. It is through this process of facing ourselves that we begin to break free from the cycle of karma that has bound us for so long. One key lesson that arises from the teachings of Buddhism is the importance of letting go. Letting go is not failure, it is freedom. We often associate holding on with loyalty or commitment, but in the deeper wisdom of Buddhist thought, we learn that attachment is actually the source of suffering. When we cling to someone or something, whether it be a person, a possession, or a particular outcome, we are only reinforcing our attachment to impermanence. By letting go, we free ourselves not only from the fear of loss, but also from the suffering of expectation. It's through the act of letting go that we create space for transformation, both within ourselves and in our relationships. This idea of letting go is particularly important in relationships. Some marriages may not last, but that does not mean they have failed. In fact, some relationships serve their purpose by providing us with the lessons we need to learn, even if those lessons are painful. These relationships are not failures. They are part of the karmic journey that helps us grow and evolve. When the lesson has been learned, it is time to move on. Holding on beyond that point only leads to stagnation. The key is to recognize when the lesson is complete and to release with gratitude, knowing that the relationship has fulfilled its karmic purpose. In Buddhism, we are reminded that forgiveness is the final lesson in breaking the karmic cycle. Forgiving our partners and even ourselves for the mistakes and hurts we may have caused in the relationship is the final step in freeing ourselves from the karmic bonds that have kept us entangled. Forgiveness is not an act of condoning harm or ignoring pain. It is an act of releasing the hold that past hurts have on our hearts. It allows us to let go of the past and open ourselves to new possibilities. Forgiveness frees us from the emotional imprisonment of anger, resentment, and guilt, and clears the path for deeper peace and understanding. It's important to remember that who you marry reflects who you are inside. This reflection is not just about love or attraction, it's about the deeper spiritual truth that our partners mirror our unresolved issues, fears, and desires. In this way, marriage becomes a profound spiritual practice where we learn not only about the other person, but also about ourselves. Through our relationships, we are given the opportunity to confront the very parts of ourselves we have avoided, and in doing so, we become more aware, more compassionate, and more whole. The final message here is clear. You marry who you marry because of karma. The person you choose to marry is not a random event. They reflect who you are on the inside, your past actions, your desires, your unhealed wounds, and even the debts you may owe from previous lives. But more importantly, they are here to help you awaken. They are your spiritual mirror, a reflection of all that you need to confront in order to move forward in your journey toward enlightenment. In the end, marriage is not just about two people coming together to form a partnership. It's about the souls coming together to fulfill their karmic duties, heal old wounds, and grow into their highest selves. Whether the marriage lasts a lifetime or comes to an end, the journey it provides can lead to profound growth, healing, and spiritual liberation. Each relationship is a step on the path to liberation, a part of the unfolding of our soul's journey. So as you reflect on your own relationships, remember that each person who enters your life is there for a reason, whether it's to challenge you, heal you, or help you awaken. Embrace these lessons with gratitude, knowing that the true purpose of marriage, like all relationships, is not to cling, but to awaken to the truth of who you are, and to free yourself from the karmic cycle that has bound you for lifetimes. When we let go of our attachments, we not only free ourselves, but also allow space for deeper love, greater understanding, and a more enlightened connection with others. Ultimately, this is the highest gift marriage can offer us: the opportunity to transcend our attachments and awaken to the eternal truth of who we are. In marriage, the most profound lessons are often the hardest ones. When we shift our perspective through the lens of karma and Zen, we begin to understand that our partners are not just companions, they are mirrors, reflecting back to us the parts of ourselves that we need to confront. This realization may feel unsettling at first, but it holds the key to unlocking true personal growth. Marriage, at its deepest truth, is not about finding someone who completes you. It's about finding someone who helps you complete yourself. Through these teachings, we can start to see that love isn't about filling a void. It's about learning to grow together, to awaken to a deeper version of ourselves, and to liberate ourselves from the illusions and attachments that have kept us stuck. Love, when viewed through this lens, becomes not a source of comfort, but a powerful tool for transformation. It's not about making everything perfect. It's about using the challenges and lessons of the relationship to evolve and become who we are truly meant to be. As you reflect on your own relationships, I encourage you to embrace these deeper truths. Take the time to see your partner as a mirror, not just a source of happiness, but a companion on your spiritual journey. Understand that the conflicts, the struggles, and even the moments of pain are opportunities for growth and awakening. If this video has resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please share your insights and experiences in the comments below. I believe we can all learn from each other's journeys. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Mindful Glow, for more inspiring content on love, growth, and spiritual awakening. Click the notification bell so you never miss an update, and let's continue this journey together, discovering the transformative power of love and connection.